Her laughter cut through the crowded street like a blade. Surrounded by polished shoes and designer suits, she smirked at the man, with grease on his hands. "Fix this broken engine, and I'll marry you," she said mockingly. The crowd chuckled, but the mechanic did not. He stood silent, eyes steady, carrying a dignity no wealth could buy. No one there expected that, in a matter of minutes, her careless words would turn into a moment the world would never forget. She was a CEO, known for her success, her sharp words, and her belief that power gave her the right to humiliate anyone beneath her. He was a mechanic, bent over a car with worn tools, sweat on his forehead, and silent strength in his heart. The crowd saw a clash of worlds, polished pride against silent labor. They leaned in, waiting for him to stumble, waiting for her laughter to grow louder. But the mechanic stayed calm, as though every insult that hung in the air passed straight through him. Years ago, this man had worn a different uniform, not stained with oil, but a soldier's uniform marked by discipline and sacrifice. He had marched across deserts, carried brothers in arms from the battlefield, and buried more friends than he could count. When he returned home, medals could not pay bills, and honor could not put food on the table. His country's promises faded into silence, leaving him with nothing but his strong hands, a broken spirit, and a stray dog that had followed him one night when he had nothing left to give. That dog became his family, his reason to wake up each morning, his silent companion during nights when the memories grew too heavy. Every scar on his body carried a story. Stories of sacrifice no one in that mocking crowd could see. The grease on his hands was not shame. It was survival. His silence was not weakness. It was strength forged in fire. The CEO's challenge was meant as a joke, a display of power. The crowd whispered, half amused, half curious. No one believed he could fix the sleek foreign engine before him. Even she leaned back against her luxury car, arms crossed, her laughter sharp enough to cut through his dignity. Yet the mechanic never spoke. His silence screamed louder than words. He opened the hood, his hands moving with the precision of someone who had repaired machines in deserts where failure meant death. Every twist of the wrench, every turn of the screw, was steady, unshaken, as though he had done this 1,000 times in harsher places. Bystanders expected him to falter, to fail. Instead, they watched the impossible unfold before their eyes. Minutes stretched like hours. Sweat dripped, grease stained deeper, yet his focus never wavered. Her laughter grew thinner, the arrogance in her eyes slowly flickering into unease. The crowd grew silent. Respect began to replace mockery, though no one dared say it aloud. A small child tugged her father's sleeve and whispered, "Daddy, why are they laughing at him? He looks brave." The question pierced the tension, leaving the woman momentarily stunned. And then, with one final twist of his wrench, the engine roared back to life. The machine purred as if reminding everyone that true skill needs no spotlight, no wealth, no applause. The crowd erupted, not with laughter but with awe. Their mockery turned into clapping hands and quiet nods. For the first time, the CEO's smirk broke. She stood frozen, her own challenge echoing in her mind. "Fix this engine, and I'll marry you." The mechanic did not look at her. He simply wiped his hands on his cloth, eyes steady, unshaken, walking away with the same silence he had carried all along. 3 quotes hung heavy in the air, remembered by all who were there that day. "Respect is not earned by wealth, but by dignity." The CEO lowered her gaze, her laughter gone. She had mocked a man who had faced battles she could never imagine, and in his silence, she had found her own humiliation. The crowd's eyes no longer followed her. They followed the mechanic, the man who had walked away without asking for recognition, leaving behind a lesson more powerful than revenge. That day, no one remembered the CEO's wealth, her car, or her mocking words. They remembered the silent mechanic whose hands carried stories of war, sacrifice, and resilience. They remembered how silence turned humiliation into honor. Respect is not demanded. It is earned in the quiet strength of those who refuse to bend. Wherever you are watching this from, ask yourself, would you stand with the one being mocked or join the laughter of the crowd?